Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially in New York. We are in the Finger Lakes, just to give some folks some context. This is pretty much where I grew up the first 25 years of my life. It's where I call home, so the main purpose of this trip, as you guys have seen in previous videos over the past few years since being out in California, this is a trip home, obviously, to be home, but of course, you cannot come to New York without doing some fishing. So it's a kind of a double bonus for me to get to go home and also get to experience some amazing fishing in the Finger Lakes. And I'm excited because usually this annual trip we do to New York is in the early spring, end of April, early May. And don't get me wrong, the fishing is fantastic. It is amazing. But now being June, mid-June, it's going to be different, of course, and I do not believe I've fished this time of year in New York for 6 or 7 years. It's been a long time. So not exactly sure what to expect this time around for this series, but I did bring a ton of gear with me home. Obviously, we just checked the one Pelican case. That's kind of got some odds and ends, some miscellaneous things. For the kayak, we're lucky to have a Slayer Max here in New York that we'll be using, kind of our New York boat, so to speak. Yeah, over the past month, I've been shipping some rods home, shipping some tackle home for these next 10 days. And we'll probably get a few days of fishing out of them. But the goal always is to have a fully outfitted boat, or as outfitted as I can make it. Right now, it is Sunday morning. So I think right now, what we'll do is we will open up our Pelican case. We'll open some boxes, get some rods rigged, some baits packed, some tackle organized. We'll get this guy ready to go for tomorrow, for Monday. And we'll see you guys in a minute. That didn't actually take too long. I think the lengthier part of this process will be figuring out how I want to load this boat up, pack it up with baits for tomorrow. Still don't even know where I'm going tomorrow. Could do Kayak, could do the canal. Plenty of other spots too that are within an hour. I think we'll get 3 videos or 3 trips essentially. We got a tournament to kind of close out this entire week. So many places, so little time. But kind of want to cut to the chase and give you guys a quick run through of how we have this boat set up. If you've seen previous videos, it's very similar to the one we have in California. For those of you who haven't seen, we'll show you exactly what we got going on, some of the stuff we've packed, unloaded. Okay, we're working with the Slayer Max Propel 10. Electronics are huge nowadays, and I cannot live without electronics if we're going to be in a tournament, especially if we're going to be looking for some specific things like grass and whatnot. Ended up shipping home a little Bioino 12-volt, 9-amp-hour battery. Kind of a upgrade, so to speak. We had a big 30-amp-hour in here. It took up way too much space, so this is completely fine for a day and a half of use, and we'll just charge it every night. So we got this guy set up. Some clips right here, complimentary works of the Wizard. Wiring in the boat. It comes out right here, removable side plate, and we've got our Ray Marine graph up and ready to roll. Yeah, just another quick little thing. I don't have a 360 light here, or the Yak Attack 360 light. Dude, I'm telling you what, this guy right here, Walmart, little Velcro, 360 light, voila, good to go. Our drive and life jacket, net, all that stuff's in the bin. We'll pack that up with us as we go. I gotta load the junk drawer up, but we do have our 2 essentials. We've got P-line, 12-pound test. This is leader line, essentially, for spinning rods. And yeah, you can't see the label, but that's because there's Velcro on there, but that's our good old fish sticks, our favorite scent right there. We got a little tool caddy, the native tool caddy. Keep some pliers, some scissors. I think I actually have a plug knocker in there too. Always a handy thing to have. We've got this motor ready. Brought our camera pole home. That was in the Pelican case. So that attaches right to our black pack. Black pack's got some miscellaneous stuff in there. Like I said, I still got to put what I think I'll need tomorrow in this. But we've got our essentials like our sunglasses. I think these fish may be on beds here in New York. I'm not sure. It's like we're going back in time when we come to New York compared to California. So they could be on beds. So we got the polarized sunglasses. Apparently I have some dude wipes in here. These are handy every so often. And probably like a 2-year-old Cliff Bar. But yeah, that's the purpose of a lot of this stuff that we shipped home. And then of course the Pelican case. I don't know if you guys travel a lot and carry electronics or fishing gear, but I'm gonna tell you right now, this thing is really solid to have as a check bag. We put a bunch of baits in here, wires, charging stuff. I don't know, a lot of stuff. Bed fishing stuff. Gotta have flatworms with us. yeah, here's some of the boxes that we packed in the Pelican. All-purpose terminal box. Pretty much all my applications with this guy, so that'll go in the boat. This right here, our Plano 3700 Deep Flex. Great multi-purpose box for all your hard baits and plastics too if you want. Again, I have no idea what we're going to be doing, like the primary bait pattern. I assume it'll be very spawn, post-spawny, if that makes sense. So fish up shallow, maybe some fry garter, stuff like that. We've got everything from, you know, a little gilly that we might try to our whippersnapper, buzz baits in there. Got the big old HUD just in case we find a big bedfish. We got our topwater program, poppers, little walking baits, some jigs, spinner baits, chatter baits. And then of course we got our frogs and then some crankbaits and then a money bait around here, at least in the spring. This guy right here, this perch stunner, a lot of perch in these fisheries around New York. So this little jerk bait right here in the perch pattern, crushed them last year. I don't know if it's going to be too late to throw a jerk bait around, but that could be a player, so we've got it. Yeah, that'll probably go with us as well. This is a box that I had at home, just another miscellaneous box of stuff. We've got some glide baits in here, some more perch jerk baits, some lipless stuff, crankbaits. Same thing with this box. Planos that we may fill up. Here's our rods and reels. Got our rod mule. This was home. More line, extra line. You never know with line. Can't have too much. Gotta have our bait sacks at home. I don't even know. Let's just dump it. What else is in here? More crankbaits. A lot of flatworms. I think Finesse could be a deal right now. It could very well be a deal for these fish in the spring. It's pretty easy to catch them on moving stuff, reaction stuff, but I don't know now. I don't know. It's a month later than I typically come, so we might have to bust out the Finesse. So plenty of flatworms, drop shot stuff. You know, we got some trailers. Got a little topwater action going. Brought a topwater rod or topwater setup. Popper might be a good deal, so we'll try that. Yep, I know I'm making a huge mess, but I guess I'll just have to clean it up. And this was another box that I shipped home. We did a little tackle warehouse order too, small order, but wanted to get some perch. Yeah, you can see there's a perch theme to this stuff. So some perch glide baits, got some glide baits here, a couple of perch mag drafts. Then we downsized to some perch little Agent E's. We like perch. I forgot I even put this in here, but apparently we packed some beef jerky sticks, chatterbaits. Yeah, a lot of stuff. I don't know, man. I'm serious when I come home fishing. I think we have everything that we'll essentially need for the trip. The 3-4 days of fishing we get in, and then of course the big tournament, the Cayuga tournament of all places. I don't think I mentioned it. The tournament's on Cayuga Lake, which is, I guess we consider our home lake because it's like 2 minutes down the road, and it's an amazing fishery. So that'll kind of cap off our trip, but not much else to show. I know that was kind of a quick little whirlwind of overview of all the things that we brought home, how we set up the boat, and trust me, I've got a lot more work to do. But if you guys have questions on this setup or anything, let me know in the comments below. Try to answer them as best I can. Guys, I'm gonna finish up getting this all rigged up, geared up, rods rigged, baits, stuff like that. We'll think about where we're gonna go tomorrow morning. We'll make our way, do some fishing, hopefully get the first New York bass of 2022. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow morning for our first fishing day in New York. Oh boy, it feels good to be on the water, folks. I mean, let's just get started, right? Might as well. First cast. There we go. Oh, I got bumped. First bite of the day. Oh, I pulled my pants down. First bite of the day. It's an area that is so good during the spring, the pre-spawn. It's June, so you'd imagine that they're still hanging around. Probably gonna be doing something different. Maybe even up on beds, who knows? Dude, I'm seeing like crazy blow-ups over there. What in God's name is going on over there? Dude, there's something going crazy over there. What the heck is that? Dang it. They're carp. Darn it, I thought we had the mother load of fish. Well, I got excited for a second. There is a massive carp spawn going on right now. Man, from the distance it looked like fish busting. Ah, you guys got me excited. That was a bummer. God, I may be overcomplicating this, guys. Let's think about it. What's one of our favorite spawn, post-spawn baits? Just a worm. I mean, I want to catch them on something else, but I could be missing out on an epic bite, too. Well, if they were crazy shallow spawning, I think we would have had a bite by now. Infamous little bridge. There we go, finally got one. My goodness. I was just about to say, how have we not gotten a bite yet? Oh man, that's not the right size. First fish in New York though. Gosh, that one hit it on the fall. I was literally thinking in my head, how have we not gotten a bite around this bridge yet? I mean, I know it's not prime time for them to be here, but you'd think we'd just catch one, and I guess that fish read my mind. Fish? No way. It was a fish. Oh, golly. What's going on, guys? You guys shrunk from the last time I was here. You guys shrunk. You guys are supposed to be like buckets. 17-inch average fish here it's supposed to be. Gotta be honest, guys, I'm not getting the good vibes over here. I'm not feeling it. So, here's the beauty of the setup we have at home. Quick and easy transportation, load, unload, and then we'll just drive 10 minutes to the other side of the lake, launch somewhere else. So, let's move on. I don't want to waste any more time in an area I don't feel super confident in. Jeez Louise, tons of carp. I mean, typically, from my experience, when the carp are going crazy spawning, that's usually after the bass spawn. So I don't really know how many bass are actually going to be up spawning if the carp are doing their thing at this point. Oh, there we go. Spinnerbait. Oh God, thank you, sir. That's what was supposed to happen all morning right there. Just didn't. Like, that was what was supposed to happen. He choked that spinnerbait too. Just wonder if that one was on a bed or if that was post. No, it looks like a, God, even looks like a pre-spawner. Big old bucket. There we go. Alright, first nice Cayuga Lake bass. See, this is the fish that live in this lake. Shallow spinnerbait. Maybe a little sign, little pattern. Beauty. Thank you, girl. Well, hopefully that means something. Carp, gnarly. There we go. Alrighty. Little spinnerbait love. Little spinnerbait love. God, there's so much grass. It's like good but bad at the same time, because I like this grass like when it's hot and it's more July, August and you can flip and frog it. But I just don't think it's that time of year where they're like super buried in it and they're predictable to catch out of the grass with those techniques. So it's kind of hard to do those things right now because I just don't think they'll work. So you got to fish like really any of the baits that you can around the grass, but I'm getting hung up like all the time. I know there's some pockets around here where there's some openings. I just don't know exactly where they are. Probably where I'm more likely to get bit. So I'm just kind of blind casting around this grass flat. You know, you can see we're a couple hundred yards offshore, but we're only sitting in like 6 foot of water. It's just a giant grass flat over here. How many bites is it going to take before we get our first pickerel? It's usually like 1 in 3 out here is a pickerel. So I guess the next fish out here will be a pickerel, right? If that's a pickerel, that'd be so funny. Oh my God, it is. I just need to talk more. Dude. Seriously. What are the odds of that? What are the odds? Thank God. All right. What are the odds we catch a 6-pound largemouth next? Come on, maybe the fish can hear me talking. All right. Spinnerbait love. Again, not the size I was looking for, but it's a bite. There we go. Feels better. Feels good. Oh yeah. Nice. That's on the fall. Yeah. That's a better one. All right. We're on them now. Maybe not the biggest fish in the world, but we got a little something going on. Glad we changed spots. This area is definitely seeming more productive. Whoa, is that the one I just caught? It's a very delayed jump that one had. No? trailer. Wonder what you were. Bet I know. Dang it, I don't have hardly any trailers left. Jeez, no ways, man. Oh. Sorry, dude. I guess it makes sense they're biting the spinnerbait. A little overcast, tiny little chop on the water. It's like one of those textbook conditions, and it's actually working. That's insane. Oh man, I love a spinnerbait bite. They're eating it good. Well, I don't think we need to really experiment with any other bait with what we're fishing right now. This, look at that. I just had a, what was that, a bluegill, or maybe it's a rock bass. Eat that thing. But this is clearly a very productive bait right now. Just for a second, let's mix it up. Just a second. Just a second. There we go. Yeah, nice one. Not bad. Alrighty. Sun popped out, put the spinnerbait down, go a little finesse here. There's another fish. Actually, not a terrible one. Not a terrible one, but not a giant either. Yeah, so it looks like a lot of these fish are post-spawn, I'd imagine. It's kind of what it's shaping up to look like. On the fall. We've had a few bites on the fall now. Ah, toothy. I guess we were technically due. I guess we were due. Definitely gotta do the old line rub after you catch one of those suckers. They get it the right way, they'll fray you up pretty good. Oh my god, I got him still. Oh, it was a perch. It was just sucking onto the tail. God, maybe I should tie on this mag draft, guys. Oh, I'm tempted. Let's try it, why not? We didn't buy it just for it to sit in the box. I mean, this is like perfect size too. Just like a good sized perch, but still edible. The sink is. That's interesting looking. Give her a whirl. Oh, I knew that was a largemouth. Wow, one of the times things worked. Actually, I didn't know that was a largemouth. I thought it was either a carp or a pike. That was cool. I guess the perch mag draft works. When I saw that like fish come up, it didn't look like a carp. Or it didn't seem like a carp. Alrighty. There we go. First mag draft fish ever. It worked. My net is super janky. Dude, that is like one of the rare occasions where you see a fish and you actually make a cast and it actually bites. So interesting. I wonder if that fish was chasing like a little perch or something, and this was what he had on his mind. I haven't even seen one follow this. It's kind of surprising. Not even like a little perch. Thought after that one, this was going to be the deal. Man, everything's working when I try it. He's a little stunted, I'd say. That one's got a little stunted growth. God, would that's a keeper, but that's like barely a keeper. Old hunchback of Cuga Lake. That was what I was just flipping right here. There's a lot of this grass right here, and then there's sections that are just like super dense. I've caught them in there before. Later though, usually June, July, but I figured, hey, why not? It didn't take long to get bit. Usually that means something. There we go. We got a flipping bite going. Nice. The confidence I needed to flip more grass. It's funny, like you look in there, man, like it's so dense, you just don't really think there'd be, I mean, you think there'd be a bass in there, but you think it'd just be so hard to target, right? And they probably are. That took quite a few flips to get bit, but apparently there's something underneath there. There must be a little bit of an opening down there, or open enough so they can actually see the bait. Flip more grass. That's one way to lose a bait. Stuff is dense down there, so I think slim profile grub is a good option. I got this on a flipping setup, but just with a 1/2 ounce weight. We're not like punching anything, so. I guess we're kind of punching the top of the grass, but it's not very thick. This little 1/2 ounce gets down there, no problem. This little setup right here, this little grub bait on a flipping stick with a 1/2 ounce weight used to be like my jam. Like back in 2015, 16, Texas, New York, anywhere I went, I'd be throwing this guy. Black and blue grub. Lost confidence in it. Wasn't getting bit with it in California, so it's kind of lost interest in it, in the technique. Even on the Delta where you'd think that'd be a good bite, but never really happened for me. But you keep this one in the back pocket, or at least I did, for times we come back to New York. Figured it might be a player. So far, seems like it might be. Oh, there's one right there. See one right in the grass right there. Oh, I see that fish. It's interesting. He's right there. Oh my goodness. Let's see if he bites a Senko. Got it. Jeez. Dude, the fish cooperate here so much better than the California fish. That wasn't even on a bed or anything. That was just a fish hanging out in the grass. Not a bad one either. Jeez, oh my gosh. It's strolling by. Fish was hanging out. Pitch a worm to it. Does exactly what it's supposed to. You gotta love New York. Yeah, there's fish hanging out in the grass. There you go. Man, it's like a lot of these bites are right on the fall. It's like you cast it on their head. Oh, it's a big one. Whoa. Oh, premature net job. Yeah, buddy. There's some fish here. There's one of the right ones. Nice. Oh, man. I think that's a good way to end the day. Alrighty, folks, what can I say? First day of fishing back in New York. You know, a little tough to start. Obviously, we started in an area that in the past has been really good, just earlier in the year when the fish were pre-spawn, spawned, and just wasn't happening. It had that bad vibe, kind of bad feeling that just wasn't going on there. So again, the beauty of this setup and having a few different access points along the lake is that we can get out real quick, and we just made a 10-minute drive to the other side of the lake, launched in probably 5 minutes, and tried our second area that usually has fish. The second area for me has always been good in the spring too, early on, but it's also a grass flat that holds post-spawn fish after they spawn too, and that's kind of what I was banking on today. Water was like 74 degrees, massive carp spawn going on. I don't know, just all the clues, all the signs pointed towards a post-spawn bite. I will say the interesting thing about Cayuga Lake though is that it is a very, very different lake the further south you go. You take an overhead view of Cayuga Lake. We're on the northern end today, shallow grass flat. The further south you go down, the deeper it gets. I think it's hundreds and hundreds of feet at its deepest point. Where we were fishing today, maybe 10 to 12 foot is the deepest, but further south you go, tend to find more smallmouth. It's an area that I've never really ventured, and obviously the water temp will be a lot cooler too, so I am curious to see, maybe later on in this trip, and maybe when we pre-fish for the tournament that is on Cayuga Lake, maybe we'll venture south and explore and see if we can find some smallmouth bedding. I think it's a very strong possibility. But yeah, guys, first day of fishing back in New York. Glad we picked Cayuga Lake. It's just a go-to, it's a staple, it's close by, it's a fantastic fishery. Got on some fish with the old spinnerbait, had some cloud cover, had some overcast conditions, a little chop on the water, and the spinnerbait bite was pretty good. Of course, we got our fair share of pickerel too, which you can always expect here. Like I mentioned, one of the big forage in this lake and a big forage in the Finger Lakes is a little perch. We took that little perch mag draft out, we stuck one. It was our only bite, but it was a good one and it was a fun bite. And then as the wind died down, the sun came out, did some flipping in some of those thicker grass patches and got a couple of bites doing that. And last fish of the day, good spinnerbait fish. The wind started to really pick up, kind of kicked me off the water too. But guys, awesome first day. I couldn't ask for more. I've said this before, I would love to go try other lakes around here that are within an hour drive. There's Oneida Lake, Onondaga, Canisius, Honeoye, so many great fisheries around me, but when Cayuga is in your backyard, it's kind of a no-brainer. So that being said, we will fish Cayuga again this trip, but probably save it for the last video, our tournament video, and I think we'll do our best to maybe go out and explore some new bodies of water, maybe try some different stuff, just to explore a little more. That's kind of what half the fun is with the kayaks and fishing, is exploring different places. Good to be back in New York. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoy this New York series, just a little change of pace from the California stuff. And as always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.